Welcome to the Giving a Purpose podcast. We talk, you listen. Streaming to the world and beyond, we will talk about all aspects of life. We will host a variety of guests, where each week we will educate, motivate, encourage, and inspire you. Let's get started with your host, Mr. L.A.
Welcome to the Giving a Purpose podcast, where we bridge the highs, the lows, the lessons learned through life's journey and filling in the gap. Yes, it's your host, Mr. L.A. As always, so you know what that means. New week, new opportunities, new goals. So what I'm going to need you guys to start doing is dropping those I am affirmations. All right. Find you some affirmations. Find some things that you're going to look yourself in the mirror and you're going to tell yourself what to do. You're in charge. All right. We have so many bad thoughts a day. You got to start rewiring your mind to speak goodness in your life. All right. To have the right attitude, to have a good attitude about yourself and how you carry yourself and how you do things. All right. I want you to create a good energy. So when people see you, it's infectious, that you're spreading good energy, and your energy is so good that no bad energy can come to you. You know what I'm saying? Listen, once again, I appreciate all the downloads. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate all of the people that subscribe. Man, I just don't want to go a day without thanking people, man. And I don't care if it's just one person. You know what I'm saying? The gratitude here is very much appreciated. So, man, if you haven't, if this is your first time watching, if you're looking on YouTube, you know what to do right there. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, man. Also, leave a review. Man, I'm trying to get the views up. I'm trying to get the views up so many people, so we can spread the word. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to fill in the gap and help people along the way. All right? Listen, man. You always get questions and people will, how do you become successful? What do I have to do to become successful? What kind of life do I have to live? You have to live with discipline, one. All right. So a couple of things I want to talk about with discipline. All right. There's a couple of things I want you to know about discipline. So there are a couple of ways you can look at it because there's different definitions. So I'm going to give you one definition. I'll give you the one off Google. Listen, the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. All right. So it always reminds me, man, when I was younger, my mom, man, it was always, I think she got it from this church in the school that we went to. It was always discipline. I'm going to discipline you for being disobedient. And it was just always just this discipline and this discipline of this. But I don't want you to necessarily, because those things are necessary. Having discipline at a young age and being disciplined and how you do it. Now, we not saying that you have to abuse anybody or anything like that. That's not what we're promoting. But I think some form of discipline creates the choices or the better or the worst choices that a person can make, especially if you're raising a young person and you're trying to show them, the way to go. You don't want to necessarily tell them what to think all the time, but you want to put that discipline in there so they know that there are options. And so they create a healthy mindset to make the right decision, if that makes sense. But what I kind of want to talk to you guys about is just being disciplined to accomplish something. All right. I mean, more of repeating something over and over to create a healthy or unhealthy habit. I mean, you do something over and over and it's unhealthy, it'll create an unhealthy habit. But doing something, repeating something over and over to create a habit, right? A healthy one or an unhealthy one. And I just want people to understand that it can go either way. Now, I used to talk to someone a long time ago, and they were always asking, like, man, you always go to the gym. Like, you choosing the gym over me, and you just blah, blah, blah. I said, it's not that. I said, what you should look at it is that I'm disciplined enough that nothing's going to shake me from going to the gym because I have a goal. Most people don't know, and this is no hate or anything like that on my family, but my great grandfather had this, had this gut thing going. My grandfather, as small as he is, has this gut thing going, and I'm talking about on my dad's side. Then my dad has this little gut thing, and my uncle has it. So I just made it in a point earlier in my life is like, I don't want that. Like, that's not, I don't want to accept those things. And I can see, my parents that I have, as they get older, the stuff that they don't use all the time, those muscles and those things get weaker. So I want to create a discipline where that is part of my non-negotiable. Like, I have to go to the gym. It's also a stress reliever for me, but it also creates the discipline I need also mentally, because in there, I learn to push myself past the point. Usually I've gotten to a mindset where I don't leave the gym when I'm tired. I leave when I'm finished. And creating that discipline creates a success of what I want my body to look like. And also, on top of that, of course, it's diet, what I put in my body, but I have to create a discipline. And I think sometimes where people mess up is, and you've heard me talk about it many, many times before, the lack of routine. Their lack of routine creates a different type of habit and a different type of discipline. You have to have a why. You have to have something. It's either your why isn't strong enough or your discipline isn't strong enough. All right. It's easy to have a cheat day. It's easy to wake up at night and eat snacks and different things like that. It's easy to be tempted by something and not have the discipline. Like, you know what? Nah, I'm going to stay away from that because I got something better. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it takes a great amount of discipline that you need for yourself. So I'm urging you guys right now, create a discipline, man. Let's go. All right. For the next 7 days, I want you to do one thing to create a discipline. All right. That's that habit. All right. But nothing can break it. I need you to find something that you want to do. Just one thing that you want to do, and don't let anything distract you. And then what you're going to do with that, you're going to create different habits and different things. And you're going to stack them on top of each other, on top of the energy that you put into it. So don't just go through the motions with that thing. All right. Don't just go through the motions when creating that discipline. I need you to have the energy. All right. But also create a discipline, especially mentally. All right. Because sometimes we have to unlearn or unrewire the things that we are used to, man. We have this thing where we have over thousands and thousands of bad thoughts in our mind. And we have to rewire ourselves and talk to ourselves to have good things. Like, we have disciplines because of things that could have been passed down to us, things that have been taught to us, that we have to sometimes unlearn because they created habits that are against the goal that we are trying to accomplish. All right. It's hard to accomplish a goal when you have bad discipline. You're never going to get there. You're just going to be repeating the same things. And that's what I want people to understand. Really, I want to kind of hone in on this real quick. Repeating a bad habit and creating an excuse is another form of insanity. So we also know that the legal definition of insanity is doing something and expecting a different result. There's so many people I come across where they have these bad habits or they have these things and then they create excuses like, well, that's what I've always done. I've been doing that for years. You know what I'm saying? They could have been in a relationship. Well, I'm so used to such and such going on. but are mad because they're depressed or having anxiety about the situation, but you're doing the same habits. You have to change the habit to create a new default or a new habit to get where you want. You can't repeat the same thing and then expect the healing to go on, because it's not going to happen. It also brings me back to something like, my older brother, man, I love him to death, and he always had this thing where he was trying to stop smoking. Right. And it was funny. It's not funny, but it's just, the respect that we have. He would always, like, when he was, battling with trying to stop, or, cutting down, trying to stop, and he would smoke, he would try to, like, no, I don't want my little bro to see me. I told him I was going to do it this time, and I'm going to do it. But I would always tell him, not that I'm doubting him. I said, well, your problem is, where you're going to mess up is in your habits, is you still hang around people that smoke. And your why isn't strong enough yet for you to just cold turkey, or, slowly, gradually. We're not saying you have to cold turkey, anything like that, but you're doing the same habits, trying to quit something that is an addiction, that is a habit. And that's where we mess up, is you're not going to change your environment, and you're not going to change the habits that created the discipline. Like, your brain can be disciplined to be lazy. It's going to obey the rules of being lazy. Your brain is going to do what you tell it to do. If you tell yourself, I don't feel like doing this, you don't feel, it's not that you can't do it, but after a while, you're going to build up a discipline of, that's going to be stronger, because that's going to be the first thing that pops in your mind. First thing that pops in your mind is, I don't feel like it. And so people always ask me, like, I could have a headache. I used to have, sometimes I have flare-ups with my stomach. I could be in pain. And I'm like, well, why didn't you do it? Because I don't do things according to how I feel. I've built up a discipline where I'm going to do it because I gave you my word. That's the discipline, and that's the habit that I've built to myself. That's why, things with time with me, like, I've built up a habit. Listen, like I've told you before, like, I don't have to be to work till 7:45. I'm there at 7 because I built up a discipline where first of all, when I get to work, I just don't want to start working. I want to prepare myself and get ready, because, I'm a teacher. So I don't want to be bum rushed by kids by doing that. Now, because I'm so good with time, and because of how I discipline myself with my drive and everything like that, I could wake up at 6:30, 6:45, and be at work at 7:45. But I used to live that life. Like, I used to live, and it wasn't necessarily rush, but I just knew I can do it, because with time, I just had everything calculated. I could wake up, whatever the case may be, wash my face, brush my teeth. I'll eat my breakfast in the car while I'm driving, and then make all of that happen. But I realized as I got older, man, I want to take my time. I don't want to be in that rush, because then what I realize is, when I get to work, I'm even more tired. So if I wake up, it allows me to just lay there. I meditate, talk to God. Then I could wake up, wash my face, brush my teeth, make a breakfast, make a lunch, then leave out with enough time that I don't have to be flustered with traffic or things that may be in my way, accidents or anything like that. So I prepare myself, and I've created a discipline that I can't control everything. If you listen to last week's episode, Control What You Can Control, check that one out too. All right. I've created a discipline where I don't have to be flustered and upset if somebody's driving slow, or if I don't catch all the lights, because I've created enough time where I don't have to be worried about those things. And then it allows me to be creative in my mind, to think about what I need to accomplish for the day that's coming up. And I can better prepare, and I can get my energy and everything corrected. All right. So this is what I need y'all to do. Create a great discipline, or you may be disciplined by the results that you get. And what I mean by that could be good or bad. We are a compilation of our habits, good or bad. we are at a point in our life of something that you did, of habits you probably created maybe 5 to 7 years ago. You're at a point in your life of where you've disciplined yourself to be to this point now. So if you want to plan for the next 3 to 5 years, create a new habit to get those things that you want. Take some chances and believe and have faith. All right, man. Hopefully that blessed everybody that's listening, man. Man, like I said, make sure you guys check out every episode every week, new Monday, fresh for you. Man, I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate you guys for listening. Always love you guys. Appreciate it. Make sure you live on purpose and make sure you live in purpose. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
You've been listening to the Giving a Purpose podcast. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Play to get new, fresh weekly episodes. For more, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.